Hello, everybody. Andy Jacob here with the DotCom Magazine Entrepreneur Spotlight Series. I have a great show today, a lot of fun. As a matter of fact, you may have even heard of our guest. He is Mr. Billy Howell, and he's the CEO of the Cajun Turkey Company. And I tell you, when we had a chance to book Billy in for the show, we were very excited. He has one of the great entrepreneurial stories. I mean, wait till you hear the story. We're going to get into it. He started this back in 1994, and it's really become a Louisiana tradition. This Cajun fried turkey gets sent all over. I mean, so many people love it. They talk about how great it is. He's branched out. He's in his warehouse right now. And I'll tell you, this is really an all-American entrepreneur story because he's sort of this guy that you read about, you know, where he had this sort of Louisiana family tradition, and everybody said, "Hey, Billy, you should get into the business and sell these turkeys." And he said, "Well, I'll give it a shot." And he started going door to door, and one thing led to another. And here he is, I mean, selling fried turkeys and so many other great food products all throughout the country. He's really an American success story. Billy, welcome to the .com Magazine Entrepreneur Spotlight Series today.
Well, thank you very much. Boy, you really built me up on that one. But that's a story in a nutshell. That's how we started this thing. And I am proud of the story, how it started, because, you know, it's I don't know, it's a God thing. You know, it's just the way that it worked out and where we are today from where we started in the garage in 1994, like you talked about. It's been a good, fun ride.
Yeah, it's so fun. I mean, you started in your garage in 1994. Again, for the entrepreneurs watching the show, I mean, that's where you have to start, sometimes in the garage. He cooked 600 turkeys in 2 pots to get it going. Yeah. And people said it's impossible to do that, but of course, Billy did it. Billy, let's talk about the zesty Louisiana tradition. Was this a family recipe that you started with? How did you come across this recipe?
Well, it's actually a friend, a very dear friend of mine that I used to work for gave me the basis of the recipe. And personally, I thought it was a little bit too much in that. So I doctored up a little bit. And I went to LSU in the fraternity house. You know, after football games at LSU, we go back to the fraternity house. And back then they called it jungle juice and everything, just mixing everything together in the barrel or a pot, you know. And so when we started the turkey store, my original partner, Paul Nothin, he said, back in high school and college, my nickname was Hound Dog. And he goes, "Hound Dog, you know, we should call this goat juice like we did at the fraternity house." So we thought that was a great name for our goat juice, which we sell to this day. But, you know, it's, like I said, it's been a great ride and it's been a lot of fun. But so should I tell the story? Can I tell you the story?
Let's hear the story. It's so fascinating for the entrepreneurs watching. Lock in on this because there's a lot to learn from the genesis story of what happened here.
So I used to be in the apparel industry. I'm from New Orleans. I got transferred to Dallas because in my territory and everything. And there was no good Cajun food that I didn't think. So back in the day, you know, we'd get together with my buddies and wives, and I'd fry a turkey and make gumbo and jambalaya, and we'd watch Saints games or LSU games, or Ole Miss games, and have a lot of fun. And, you know, we were having cocktails, of course, and the more we drank, the better it sounded when people said, "Billy, you should open a store and sell it." You know, and well, that's a great idea. We should do that. And you know, we kept on having a couple more pops, and it just, you know, one thing grew to another. And the party was over, and Paul went back to his job. He was in commercial real estate. I went back to my job, you know, in the apparel industry. And a couple of weeks later, about this time, that was like the 1st of October, Paul called and said, "You know," goes, "Hound Dog, I think your turkeys are really good. You know, we should really do this. I mean, I think you should check into it." And I went, "Paul, what do we know about the food industry? I mean, you know," he said, "Well, call the health department and find out what we can or can't do." So I said, "Great." So I called the health department and we got the runaround. And Paul said, "You know what? Let's just make up a name of a company." Because, you know, back in 1994, there were no internets. There was no social media. So living in Dallas, you know, they had a great viewership of the Dallas Morning News. So we put an ad in the food section and the phone started ringing. And like you said, that first year we cooked 600 turkeys in 2 pots in my garage. And we figured we were on to something. In fact, I've got something here. Oh, here you go. Here's my original pot.
Wow, I love it. The original pot.
So we had
wow.
This in the store, but this is where it started 30 years ago. So that first year we did 600 in the garage. The next year we opened a small little retail store in North Dallas. We got a caterer to cook for us. We did about 1,800 that year. And then the following year, we found a USDA facility about 6 hours from Dallas. And we signed a non-disclosure agreement with them. They decided to start cooking our turkeys. And for the last 28 years, they've cooked our turkeys for us. They do a great job. You know, I'm really proud of the recipe that we have because it's very tasteful and spicy. And we even do a lightly seasoned if you don't want it too spicy. But the packaging that they do on our turkeys are beautiful. So we inject them with our goat juice. We put a little seasoning on the outside we call Mr. Billy's Bayou blend. And then we deep fry it in the peanut oil. And then we wrap it in foil. So when the consumer gets it, and we put it in a Cryback bag and seal it. So when the consumer gets it, it's so easy. You just take it out of the plastic bag, put it in a pan, slot in the oven, warm it for about an hour and 20 minutes, and you're done. Just peel the foil back and you've got a deep fried Cajun turkey, and you don't have to worry about going outside and cleaning up a mess or burning your house down or anything like that. We make it easy and stress-free for the holiday season coming up.
Wow,
So
the season's coming up, of course.
Yes, sir.
I don't know if I can call you hound dog, but I'm going to say that original pot probably belongs in the Smithsonian Institute. I mean, it might end up there one day next to the space shuttle. It's fantastic. Yeah. Now, we talk about turkey, Billy. You know, you think about, 1,000 pounds, 100,000 pounds. It starts getting mind-boggling. 500,000 pounds, 1,000,000 pounds of turkey. I mean, you're coming up on 2 million pounds of turkey. I mean, that's unbelievable.
Yeah.
Is that the biggest seller that you have? Because you have some other great products as well.
Well, when we first started, the spicy was definitely our best seller. And then as our business grew and our clientele changed a little bit, especially with Thanksgiving coming up, we discovered, we're selling families that either had the whole family coming together, and you got children that don't like spice. And then you've got the adults that, or your grandparents or so that are concerned about it. So that's when we started doing the light, what we call lightly seasoned. So then it's good that you can have the fried turkey with that flavor, but then not quite as spicy. But then that's when we start selling the goat juice, because a lot of our customers will buy the lightly seasoned, they buy a bottle of goat juice, and then when they warm their turkey and slice it on their portion, they just spoon a little bit on it. It's like an au jus or a gravy, and then that individual can have spicy, and then the rest of the family can have lightly seasoned. And
yeah, I love that.
So now it's like we're selling almost as many lightly seasoned as we are Cajun fried. But then on the flip side, years ago, we do business with Neiman Marcus, and years ago, they wanted a roasted turkey to go along with the assortment that we had. So we do this, we call it a traditional herb roasted turkey, and that's going to be with thyme, rosemary, garlic, basil, salt, and pepper. And what we do on all our turkeys, they're all injected with these flavors. So we say it's the most moist and most tender turkey on the market today, because after we cook them, we wrap them in foil. And the beauty of that is when you warm it at home, that foil is holding all the moisture on the inside. So when you peel that foil back, and all these natural juices that come from our recipes that we inject in it, plus the natural flavor that comes from the turkey, it's just totally different from any other baked turkey or fried turkey you'll see on the market. So,
wow, it's incredible. And of course, everybody knows that watches the show, I love to eat, and I like to eat healthy. And this turkey high in protein. I mean, I'm on a big protein kick right now because I'm trying to lift weights at my old age, and it really works out. I mean, you're making my mouth water right now. Let's talk about it, Billy, because, getting ready for the interview, we spoke about entrepreneurship a bit, and it's not easy. Even when you get to your number of years of having success, you still have to pound the rock every single day. Is that right?
Oh, absolutely. And it gets harder every day because, unfortunately, people don't want to work, so that is always a really difficult task that we have. But we're really blessed. I started working with this new staffing company this year, and we've got a great team on board. In fact, we had a meeting earlier this morning, and one of the ladies that's worked for me for about 4 years now, she goes, "Mr. Billy, I'm telling you, we got the best team we've ever had." And so we're real excited about that, because this time of the year, we start pre-packing turkeys, and we'll get a couple of 200,000 or 300,000. We'll get a couple 2,000 to 3,000 turkeys pre-box, put them back in the freezer. So when orders come in, we just put a packing slip on in there, a label on the outside, and off it goes. So we're packing now to get ready for the rush.
I love it. What about people that don't like to cook? Like they want the complete dinner. You know, they want the turkey, but they are saying, "Hey, Billy, you know, I don't like to cook. I want like a whole, you know, array. I want the complete package." Do you have something like that available?
Yeah, we do complete meals, and we do it two different ways. So if you want like a traditional Thanksgiving, you can do the roasted turkey with traditional mashed potatoes, green beans, cornbread dressing, and gravy. And then for dessert, we'll do a bread pudding with a white chocolate sauce. But then if you want to do a deep fried Cajun spicy or lightly seasoned turkey, then we do one of my favorite things that we do is this is crawfish cornbread. So you do have to, we do most of the heavy lifting for you, but when you receive this,
Billy, hold that up a little bit higher.
Yeah.
Little higher, little higher. Wow, there it is. The cornbread. That's that famous cornbread we read about.
This is crawfish cornbread. And when you get the pack, it's going to come in a bag like this, which is just batter. So you just pour this in a pan, you bake it for about 55 minutes. And then while that's baking, this is crawfish etouffee. And you put this in a pot and boil it, and the water gets the etouffee hot. Then after your cornbread's ready, you pour this etouffee on top of the crawfish cornbread, and it's outstanding. But then you can do a Cajun Thanksgiving, and you can do the crawfish cornbread. You still do your traditional mashed potatoes and green beans, but we've got crab cakes to go along with it. We've got seafood gumbo or chicken and sausage gumbo. So you can put a little Cajun flair on there. And going back to like all our gumbos and all our etouffees and things like that, they're going to come in this boil bag like this. So you can put this in a pot, cover it with water, boil the water. In 10 minutes, you've got the most authentic gumbo and etouffee made by my friends in South Louisiana. We may be in Texas, but all of our products come from South Louisiana. I always ask people, you ever watch Swamp People and see Troy Landry shooting alligators? And they go, "Oh yeah, I've seen that show before." And I said, well, that's the people or people just like that make all our Cajun side dishes. It comes from a little town called Belle Rose, Louisiana. Work with a fantastic manufacturer down there that is the best. And then so what I do is I work with, you know, authentic Cajuns so I can bring that to Dallas. And I always say we have the most authentic Cajun food on the internet. And I firmly believe that because I work with people that have been doing this for 40 and 50 years. So I have another manufacturer that I work with. He does our turdunkins, stuffed chickens, boudin, andouille sausage, anything that you need Cajun, I promise you is on our website for the most part. And we ship nationwide.
Yeah, I love it. Of course, you're out of Texas. You can't forget some Texas barbecue, right?
Oh yeah, we got that too. So I guess about 5 years ago, I thought, with it being Texas and everything, I should start working and start doing some barbecue. So I've got a guy that helps him with we do a jalapeno smoked turkey, and then we'll do a hickory smoked turkey with cracked black pepper. And so I started picking up his barbecue. So we do a really good brisket. Where's our? Oh, I was looking for. We do a really good bacon bourbon barbecue sauce. And I thought some here handy. I was going to show it to you, but anyway, that's great to go along with our briskets and ribs and pulled pork that we offer. We even do a turkey jerky that's delicious for hunters, or fishermen on the boat. Instead of being dried, it's more like a beef stick. It's absolutely delicious.
Wow! So now you've become known really as a person that really takes great pride in the quality and the grade of not only your meats but your seafood. And you're really committed. I mean, your entire life is focused on having your customers receive products that really arrive in a wholesome condition on time and shipped accurately and get there right so that people can enjoy what you're making. Where did that come from? How did you learn, from back in the day to make sure that this amazing product arrives on time? Where does that commitment come from?
Well, every time we pack a box, I tell all my employees, I want you to play like you're packing this box for your grandmother, and you're going to go over there for Thanksgiving Day, And what are you going to do if you get over there and the turkey's not there and you messed up your grandmother's, Thanksgiving? So I always want to put I don't want to say a spin. I just want them to understand how important this meal is that we're packing for people, because it's the most important meal of the year. Maybe Christmas is right behind it, but man, Thanksgiving's when you come together and break bread with the family and have a turkey, So that's the importance. And you touched on that one thing that just absolutely breaks our heart is UPS and FedEx. I mean, they are the carriers of the world right now, especially with Amazon. There's just, I guess I could say billions of boxes being shipped, but millions for sure. So it's very disheartening to us when we do our job and we hand that turkey off to UPS, and for whatever reason they make a mistake and they don't deliver it on time, and then customers want to blame us, and it's just so hard. And we're, we don't want to ruin anybody's meal, so it's really hard on us when that happens, when we don't have any control over it. Because when we're in control, we make it happen to the best of our abilities. And I'll be honest, I mean, we're humans, we make mistakes, but if we do make a mistake, we do everything possible to make it right by our customers. And we live by that. We're a Christian company. We want to take care of people. We want to treat people the way we expect to be treated. And my team is like that. I'm very blessed, very, very blessed.
Yeah, that's fantastic. So for the entrepreneurs watching the show, not everything goes smoothly every single time, but the key is to recognize those things that might be a little bit of a hiccup in your business system or in your process or in your sales cycle or delivery cycle. And if things do go a little awry, which they will for everybody, step up, take responsibility, do the right thing, and make right by your customers. Now, Thanksgiving, we always see now coming up, especially on social, you have people that are trying to make these fried turkeys and they blow up and they get injured and the house gets on fire and all that kind of thing. It just seems a lot easier just to order. How long does it take to get, let's say, a fried turkey out to somebody's house?
We can ship them overnight. If they get an order to us by noon, we do our best to ship it that same day, as long as we have it by noon our time. The week before Thanksgiving, we'll push that back. We need at least 24 hours. I think I'm an old guy, and I go back to like FedEx, kind of like I'm gonna say ruin things. I mean, they made it very easy for customers, but the point I'm getting to is, back when we were young and you wanted to send a birthday present, you had to go to the post office, you had to plan it ahead of time. And now it's like, oh, I can wait till tomorrow. Oh, Amazon can get it to me. Oh, I'll wait. So everybody waits. And that's a problem for us, because we can only pack so many turkeys in a day. That's why we pre-pack turkeys in advance. So when someone wants a turkey, boom, we can just slap a label and out the door it goes. So I'd really recommend to people to order that week before Thanksgiving, because if there is an issue with UPS or FedEx, then we have time to take care of it and take care of y'all. Now, I understand, over the years, a lot of times people don't have a refrigeration space to bring everything in, so or freezer space to bring it in. So they want us to ship it on Monday. It gets there the Wednesday before Thanksgiving, and then they're set to go. And that's fine. But again, going back to us just wanting to take care of our customer. If you have room in your freezer or refrigerator, bring it in early. The turkeys are good in the refrigerator for 10 days. So you're going to just let it rest in the refrigerator until Thanksgiving comes. Makes it easier for everybody.
Yeah, I like that idea. You don't want the stress. You have the family coming over, people coming over. You've got so many other things to think about. The last thing you want to think about is, not getting your turkey on time. So order it early. Now, you also have a wholesale business, which is very interesting. I want to talk about that because it's sort of a line extension that you did. For the people watching the show, we talk about this. You have a wholesale business. You're selling into some of the biggest names in the world. Let's talk about that, and how's that wholesale business going for you?
It's great. I have some very, very, very good partners. When I used to be in the apparel industry, of course, I'm in Dallas, and that's where Neiman Marcus is located. And unbeknownst to me, when I was selling clothes to them, I didn't realize that they did gourmet food at Christmas or year round, really. And you go in the store and you see their candies and their, pecans and chocolate covered pecans and things. So a friend of mine said, Billy, you really need to contact Neiman Marcus. You got relationships over there. So I did. And it was funny because when I first started selling them, they were buying my honey glazed ham, which by the way is absolutely delicious. I mean, the provider that we work with on that is fantastic. So when I first started selling Neiman's, it's like they just wanted to do my ham. They said, our customer's really not a Cajun person. And I'm thinking, well, man, there's Mexican, there's Mexican food here in Dallas, and of course Italian and steaks. I mean, there's a need for Cajun food, but I respected what they say, So I guess after about 2 or 3 years, they decided, let's bring that Cajun fried turkey and see what happens. Well, it blew up. It's to this day, it's the #1 selling turkey within the Neiman Marcus catalog. And so we're really blessed on that part. But then we started working with other products because we probably have 200 different products that we have in the store in the Cajun arena. And we do a lot of really good appetizers as well. But we have about 65 or 70 items in Neiman's catalog right now. We also work with Williams-Sonoma. We've been with them for about 12 or 15, I think it's 15 years. And then there's a very large grocery store chain here in Texas called HEB. And they're just a fabulous grocery store chain. Then they have an upscale store that's called Central Market. And we sell them and have sold them for the last 15 years, have a great relationship with them. And then there's another foodie network out there that's called Gold Belly. And we've been with those guys. We used to be with a company called Foodie Direct, and then Gold Belly started, and then they bought Foodie Direct. So we had a real easy migration going in from Foodie Direct to Gold Belly. So we have about maybe, 15, 20 products on their website as well. And then for the wholesale thing, I started working with national food distributors. So we work with Benny Keith, we work with Cisco, we work with US Foods, a company called Labatt, another company called CD Hartnett. So that way we can sell food distributors, and then independent or with their sales force, they can go out and sell other meat markets, butcher shops, or smokehouses that I wouldn't be prepared, or I wouldn't have the access to know about. And that's a new business that I started 2 years ago. And it's going pretty good. I'm pretty happy happy with the progress we've made, especially with Cisco and US Foods. We have numbers and codes set up with them. And by having that, it gives us national distribution. So if someone in LA or New York wants to bring our turkeys in through Cisco or US Foods, we can do that.
I love it. I love it. Now, I've got a question for you, Bill. You've been featured on the Food Network and Rachel. You've been on the ABC's The Chew. And when you go to your local restaurants, does everybody know you as the turkey guy? And do you get some special treatment when you go into the restaurants locally?
It's really it's heartwarming because I'll go in and I'll use my credit card and it says, Billy Howell, the Cajun Turkey Company on there, and they come back and go, oh man, I get your turkeys every Thanksgiving. So, and I try to do on social media, I like to do videos that we put out there and everything. So I haven't really had a whole lot of people recognize me out in public, but man, I tell you what, when I meet someone and start talking, they go, well, what do you do? And I go, well, I'm the Cajun Turkey Company. Oh man, I buy turkeys from you, So that's been, that kind of gives you a rush, because I'm a really modest guy that, just came from, just a real middle class family. And I like to cook. And I like to make people happy. And I love to talk to people. I drive my wife crazy sometimes because I'm on the road traveling, and I bump into people on the road and start talking. I go, man, you never get who I met tonight, and she just laughs at me. But, I love doing these food shows and being in front of people. And anyone listening that is local, what we do every year that people love, we do a holiday tasting. So on Saturday, November the 2nd, this is our retail store here back behind us, but on this side and behind that wall, we have 6,000 square feet of shipping facility. So on the warehouse on that side over there, we open that up, and golly, we must have 40 different pots of things where people can come through, taste the majority of our best sellers before the holiday season starts, and that way they can taste what what we have to offer for Thanksgiving to make their Thanksgiving planning a lot easier. Another thing we do that's been real popular over the years is we do a Christmas in July sale. It's usually about the middle of July, and for one day we put everything in the store half price. and then people can go in and that's a way that we give back to our customers, because our customers are so loyal. And we were doing some statistics a couple of months back, and we realized out of the 45,000 customers that we've had over the years, that 2/3 of them are repeat customers. And that's the nicest compliment that we could get, that they come back.
Yeah,
And
that's incredible, Billy. That's phenomenal. I know I've cut out a certain amount of time, and you've only have a certain amount of time because you're running the business and just taking care of so many people around the country with what you're doing. Again, your nickname is Hound Dog, so I love that so much. I want to talk to you about entrepreneurship. We spoke a few times prior to the call and prior to this interview, and it's just a perfect entrepreneurial story. We're busy. We
Yep.
have our ups, we have our downs. You got to keep on pushing. But Billy, we have some younger people watching the show, some younger entrepreneurs. Let's give back to them. Let's talk about maybe what it takes from your perspective to keep on pushing when the going gets tough. What do these younger entrepreneurs do when they face a tough challenge? Maybe they freeze in the frame a little bit. They don't know what to do. Can you give them some advice on how to keep on pushing?
Well, my motto is never give up. And I've been doing this for 30 years. And there were many a time when I thought, how am I going to pay the bills? But I just always felt that God had a plan, and I just stuck with it, and I just made it work, and it worked. My partner, Paul, when we first started working together, he said, you know what? If we don't know it, we got to surround ourselves with people that do. So I would say, try to find someone, whatever field it is that you're trying to start that business in. Maybe there's a person out there or a company out there that you want to mold yourself after. And if you can try to get in touch with that company for any kind of help, I'll say this, but if anybody wants to contact me, I mean, I'll tell you right now, I'm working with a friend of mine calling me, and he goes, Billy, I got a friend. He's got a family recipe for some mustard. And man, you're in the food business. Could you help this guy? And his name's Grady. And so I said, man, I'd love to talk to Grady. So I met this gentleman, great guy. So man, I'm bringing him into the store. We're doing a food show together next week. And I love helping people. So like Grady, I mean, he's got a family recipe for some mustard. I helped him with co-packers to help him with that and everything. So, I'll put that out there. People want to call me and ask for help. If it's in related to the food industry, I'll be more than happy to help them. I'm not going to give them my turkey recipe, but I will help them. I just like helping people. That's the bottom line. But
I love it.
the most
I love
important
it.
thing is, I would say, if you believe in it, just never give up. It's not easy, but if you believe in it, and like Grady's doing now, he's going around and he's letting different restaurants taste, and he's getting bites here and there, and you get that. I've been in sales all my life, and I've been told no more than I've ever been told yes. But man, when you work so hard and you get that yes, and you get that little tingle up your back, it's like it makes it all worth it. It just makes it all worth it. So just never give up. And if you believe in it, you gotta be passionate about it. That's funny. I was doing a presentation with Benny Keith in Little Rock, Arkansas last Thursday. And I did my presentation, and the guy looked at me and he goes, man, you're pretty passionate about this, aren't you? And I went, Eugene, I am. And I said, you know what? It's like, I feel so blessed to have what I have and sharing it with people. And it's honor working with you and your company, because, I know that you can, I want to grow my business, but I also want to help you grow your business, So it's a two-way street. And,
Wow.
but
Great. That's great. I mean,
yeah.
for the
And, I want to say this too, though. I
Sure.
did not do this by myself, because I've got a team right now working with me. Melanie, Miss Ruth, her daughter Monica, we got Bree just came on board. I've got a great team, and and Belinda that helps me with social media, and of course my wife and my daughter for supporting me for so many years. It's all family. I'm blessed. I just got good people around me that help. They are so engaged with the turkey store. I mean, they're so proud of it, and they just work with me, and I tell them all the time, I couldn't do this without you. Even when we interview, I have them do the interview, because they're the ones they're going to be working with the people. And so it's been a blessing. I've been very fortunate.
Yeah.
So
Very good. I mean, you love to give back. You give back to the community. You have a great team. You give back to friends. You always want to help. That's great advice for the younger entrepreneurs. You know, you also have a higher power, a higher faith that kind of drives you, and that's fantastic, Billy.
Yeah.
What a
Oh,
great interview.
can I say something else? So
Yes.
talk about giving and everything. And a friend of mine told me, he said, Billy, you need to let people know that the Cajun Turkey Company does that. So there's an organization here in Dallas called Our Calling, and they work with the homeless people. And it's a great organization. My family's in, my wife's family is involved with this Morning Star Family Foundation, and they support these nonprofit organizations across the Dallas Metroplex, and they all Christian based, and they work a lot with people that are homeless. So, man, I got involved with that, and we give hundreds of turkeys to Our Calling for their Thanksgiving. There's another organization, Cindy Simmons. Her organization is Knockout Kids Cancer. So if you shop with us the first week of December, 10% of our sales go back to Knockout Kids Cancer here in the Dallas area.
Yeah, that's great. Changing the world, Billy. Very
Well,
emotional.
I just like helping people. It's easy. I mean, you give a turkey away here and there to help people, Yeah, they cost money, but you see that look on someone's face when you give it to them. It's I don't know. I'm blessed, and I just like helping people.
Right on, Billy. Billy, thanks so much. Thank you so much for coming on the .com Magazine Entrepreneur Spotlight Series, telling us your story, the tradition since 1994, starting with the famous pots behind you that are going to end up in the Smithsonian, and then now, going into wholesale, helping so many people, giving back to the community, helping charities. I mean, you do it all. Hound Dog, it's great to have you on the show. Thanks so much.
Annie, thank you for having me. What a pleasure. I appreciate very much you let me tell my story.